I've tried several times to start ramping things up. For me, it's more my body just hasn't cooperated and hasn't bounced back to a lot of the treatments that we've been trying to do. Just really struggled to kind of put our finger on what's been going on. That's why it's just been taking longer than what we thought.
We're back on FT, and so is Max Muncy as we get ready for the second half of the season. Max, great to see you, and how's the break going for you so far? Mix in, of course, for the Dodger fans that are desperately missing you, an injury update as well. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys? The break hasn't really been much of a break for me. It's kind of still the same grind. I've basically been off the last 3 months, so we're trying to get healthy. So, you don't take any days off when you're trying to get healthy, and hopefully we're making some progress.
Timetable?
When you back?
Yeah.
Not sure yet. We've been having some really good days lately, but we're still trying to make sure we're taking our time and not putting ourselves in a bad position that we're going to regret it later on.
Max, does some of this have to do with the way that the Dodgers handle recovery? And I mean this in a positive way. This team has been through the regular season grind for a long time, but they also understand what the playoffs is all about. And nobody's 100% when you get to the playoffs. I get that, but getting everyone as close to what they should be as possible. For example, I know this is a very different injury, but we were with Tyler Glass now. He swung by our set when we were in Texas at Arlington. And he was like, technically, I could pitch right now in most cases. But he said, with me having kind of a slight issue, the Dodgers are like, we'll tell you when we feel like you're ready to go again.
No, it's definitely not like that case. It's more of, we've been trying to get back I've tried several times to start ramping things up. For me, it's more my body just hasn't cooperated and hasn't bounced back to a lot of the treatments that we've been trying to do. And, we can't necessarily figure out why that is. I've gone in and done testing multiple times, gotten a whole bunch of scans and images, and we've just really struggled to kind of put our finger on what's been going on. And, that's why it's just been taking longer than what we thought.
Is there a crazy treatment that you're getting on this that you're like, I never knew this existed? Because I feel like every other year training rooms bring in something new that you're like, what is that? And they're like, it's a bone scan ultrasound defibrillator laser.
I think anything that involves the electricity, all the new crazy STEM machines they have, the newbies, all that stuff always amazes me. Just, you're just basically sending electricity through your body to try and help heal. And it's, to me, that one always is always surprising to me. And I feel like every year there's a new machine that does it better than the previous machine.
Max, you've been out for how long now? Well over a month, right?
May 14th, I think was when I went on the IL. So, we're 2 months, a little over 2 months at this point.
Okay. What are they? I mean, I did an oblique once and I know what it feels like. What are they doing for you? Because is there any concern? Like this has lingered way longer than almost anyone, because usually, a month is like a long time for oblique. You're going on 2 months. Is there any worry about there's something else we're missing here? Because I know you've had all the scans, right? Had CAT scans and MRIs and everything, and they're massaging it and they're lasering it and you're doing the throws onto the wall, right? But is there any worry that this is taking so long?
There's definitely some worry, and that's why like I said, I've gone in and done a whole bunch of testing and scans. We've done it on the side, we've done it on the back, we've done it on the hip. We've been checking everything. We've checked for stress reactions in the bones and all this kind of stuff. And, we just really haven't been able to nail down exactly why it's been taking so long. When we talk to the doctors, it's, I think the reason why it's been taking so long is just like the size. It wasn't just one spot on the muscle that I had hurt. It was the entire thing. So, you're talking like from up underneath the rib cage all the way down to the hip where it's connecting. It was a large area that I had hurt instead of just a small, tiny spot. And I think that's just why it's been taking so long.
What are you able to do? Because I've seen teams that bought special squat rack bars for guys who had elbow surgery, and they're holding the squat rack bar and still doing squats. What are you able to still do as far as keeping your strength up? Obviously nothing rotational.
Oh, we've actually been doing a ton of that stuff because we've been trying to strengthen the area around it. At this point, we're throwing med balls pretty good right now. We're actually doing quite a bit of rotational stuff. We're hopefully progressing into a swing pretty soon. I don't know exactly when that'll be, but hopefully extremely soon. And from there, we're just trying to take it slow and make sure that at this point, it's been such a long time since I've been swinging a bat that we can't go really quick with it because then we're going to cause a lot of issues with other body parts.
How bored are you now? How bored? I mean, is your wife like packed your stuff up and been like, just please go on a road trip so I get a couple days away?
I think she's been very thankful that I've been home. It's been nice being home with the kids. You get to watch them, a little more than you would when you're on the road. And, I've been very thankful for that. It's been a blessing, but it's also been, I want to be out there playing. We only have a short window to be able to play this game. And anytime that I'm not out there, I feel like that's being taken away from me. And that's been very devastating to me. And my wife definitely knows that. So we're trying to just make the most of we can out of the situation.
You are in LA, correct?
Yeah.
So what's your day like when they go on the road? Because at home, I'm sure when they're home, you go in and you get there early and you get your work in and you still get to see the guys. But then when they go on the road, what's a day like? It's like their AllStar break, right? So you're going in, doing your treatment. You go in at like 9:00 in the morning, do your hour treatment, and then you're like, honey, I'm home.
I wish it was only an hour. No. No, I'm going in about 10:00. You do your tubs, the treatments, then you got to work out. I've been doing a lot of defensive stuff, ramping that up. So, you get there, you do tubs, treatment, then you got to do, your pre-workout, then you got to go out and do throw, ground balls, defense, then you got to do your conditioning, come back in, do your actual workout, and then finish with whatever treatment you have left. So, it's almost 4 or 5 hours that I'm in there at the field when the team's on the road.
That's great that you can do defense and all that stuff. So you're on your feet and you're getting all that acclimation. But we're going to stop injury talk unless you want to keep discussing it. But I want to go All-Star game. I want to go All-Star game because Scott and I were privileged to go around with the AJ Przinsky and go to all the Nike the setup that they had there and all the swag that he got. What is more swag at an All-Star game? Is it an All-Star game or playoffs? What do you get more stuff that you have to bring home?
Oh, man, probably All-Star game for sure. Nike's always I've been a Nike guy pretty much my whole career, and they've always done a really good job of when you do get to playoffs, they send you a nice goodie bag. But I think it's definitely the All-Star game. They have the gifting suite, and it's the amount of stuff that they have in there, it's pretty ridiculous. New Era's in there giving out any kind of hat you can think of. There's always a clothing brand. The couple years I went, I know Levelwear was giving out a ton of stuff. 1 year I went, they were giving out custom fishing rods. You get to design a fishing rod however you want it. They'd send it to your house. In Colorado, they sent you a snowboard, which that was pretty cool. It's definitely the All-Star game. The amount of stuff that they just hand out at the All-Star game is ridiculous.
Max, what about your thoughts on the game? Were you able to check out the game and the Derby and your boys showing up with some pop, Teo and Ohtani?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I watched the Derby. The Derby was always a cool thing for me. Unfortunately, I was only able to watch some of it. We were at Disney with the kids for that day. It felt like a good day to take the kids over there. So I was kind of watching on my phone, checking the updates, checking everything, and then when Teo won, the group chat was going nuts, obviously, and then got to watch the All-Star game. That was a lot of fun. Show did what he always does. It's I really wasn't surprised at all that he hit a home run right there. It was I was kind of expecting it actually, and see Willie go out there and get a hit. That was pretty fun too. He had to show off the wheels a little bit for it, but he got it out there.
Max, two questions on one. You're at Disney. Did you see the beginning of the home run derby or the end of the home run derby?
The end.
Okay, good. So you missed the national anthem.
I think everybody heard about the national anthem, even if you didn't see it.
I think it was worse. I think it was worse in person than it might have been on TV because I tried to show it to some friends and they're like, "That's really. I don't think it's that bad." I'm like, "You should have been there in person. Trust me." The vendors I was standing next to, like the guys, the beer people, were like, "What is she trying? She can't. This can't be real." So okay, that's good. You missed that. Now, second thing is, what'd you think of the uniforms? Because Shohei running around the bases right there, he looked like he played for the Miami Marlins.
I thought the National League ones actually weren't that bad with the black and the blue, but the American League ones, that was the interesting choice to say the least. I wish they'd go back to the old way they did it, just like everybody else, where you wear your team jersey and then maybe you wear a different hat. Getting to wear your jersey in the All-Star game is a really cool moment, and I've been thankful to do one of each. And I definitely prefer wearing the actual jersey and not the All-Star one. I think it's you get the patch on there. It's pretty cool, and I think they should go back to that.
Max, I'm going to approach this one delicately. It's fun. It's funny, but we're on national television these days, so we haven't had you on since there was a moment that went viral with Shohei Ohtani's celebration. We're not going to show it. I don't know if you caught it. Can you give us any insight? Because I feel like this is the show that would actually ask the question, but appropriately. And was he made aware that maybe, he should approach the celebration a little bit differently? It was very innocent, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Anyone that thought that was a celebration, you really need to check yourself. He slid and he got a bunch of dirt into his mitt. He was trying to get the dirt out of his mitt. I saw it go viral, and I started shaking my head, and I just saw all these idiots making all these comments on it, and he slid, and when he slides, he puts his hand down, which is why he wears those big Mickey Mouse gloves. He's trying to protect his hands, and a bunch of dirt crawls up in there. It happens all the time. I wear a sliding mitt, and every time I slide, the dirt goes all up into the sliding mitt, and so you take it off and you shake it. Now, granted, he probably should have done it a little bit better than the way he did it, but it looked pretty bad. But yeah, it was it's about as innocent as you can be.
Did anyone
tell Ohtani? I mean, I'm like, hey, dude, this went viral. It's not you, but
I'm sure a bunch of people did. I obviously I wasn't on the road with them when that happened, so I wasn't able to hear what was going on in the clubhouse. But I'm going to go ahead and guess that Miggy Rowe had some comments for him on that one.
He's the one that has the comments. Well, Soto had some comments too. Did you happen to hear Soto's comments during the All-Star game about who he wants to play with?
Well, I mean, I think everyone in the world wants to play with Shohei. It's obviously that'd be really cool if you add Soto to the lineup, but just saying, I don't think there's anyone out there that doesn't want to play with Show.
Max, we had Tyler on. Tyler Glasnow. I mean, just prettied up. I mean, hair perfect, face perfect, perfect suit, shoes. I mean, the whole deal, right? I mean, he
smelled great too.
His hair smelled delicious.
I'm sure.
He made Kratz smell his hair. I mean, listen, he was in all his glory, okay? He's like, I get to walk the red carpet, all 6'6" of me, all pretty. But he did make an interesting comment as we're talking about Ohtani. He said Shohei no longer uses a translator and that he speaks perfect English. Now, I've heard this from other people, but to hear a teammate say it opened my eyes a little bit. So how do we get Shohei on the show, and have you seen him speak perfect English?
Perfect English is definitely an overstatement. He can hold a good conversation with you, but perfect English, that's a bit of an overstatement. Glass, come on now. You're putting the guy in the bad spot when you say something like that. He's worked really hard at it, which is also not surprising to me. Just seeing his work ethic with everything else, he can hold good conversations with you, but he holds a good enough conversation that you forget that there's a language barrier, and so you'll start throwing words out there, and he'll stare at you like, "What are you talking about? I don't understand that." And so that's where he's at with that, I think, and it's really cool to see him be very involved with the teammates and interactive with the teammates. But Yeah, he still has to use a translator for some of his stuff, but he's been doing pretty good with it.
What's his go-to phrase? Because when guys learn English and they're really, really trying to like use it more, they usually have a go-to phrase that makes everybody, yeah, like you're smiling right now. What's his go-to phrase?
Well, I don't know if he actually has one, but in all of our hitters meetings, he just says middle. We'll sit there and talk about our approach for the pitcher, and our hitting coaches will make each guy kind of say what they're thinking, so that way you have to have a plan. You can't just kind of just sleep through the meeting. And every time we get to show, he says, "I just look middle, chop down." And if maybe it's as simple as that for hitting, because he makes it look pretty easy, but it's middle. He says that a lot.
Hey, Max, speaking of Shohei, have you seen your schedule? It just came out. You guys are going to Japan. I know you already knew this, but you're going to Japan again. I mean, the Dodgers have been to Korea, Japan, Australia, Mexico. I mean, Dodgers should be like the world's team now, but are you excited about getting a chance to, one, go to Japan and then see Shohei in Japan?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a madhouse, but yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Korea was an awesome trip. Except for I was sick during the whole trip. I wish that wasn't there, because I hardly got to try any of the food over there. But I think Japan will be incredible. The way MLB does these international trips, it's a lot of fun. They do it up right. I know all the players have a blast with it. Unfortunately, it is a long trip, a long flight, and I think my understanding is we're over there for quite a bit. It's not just a short trip, and so that's. I think a lot of the guys were kind of reeling from the Korea trip this year, and so that'll be interesting to see how we're able to bounce back next year after that trip. And maybe having done the Korea trip this year, we'll have some tips on how to be a little bit smarter about some of the stuff we did.
That's a good call, though. It's a disadvantage. It hurts to start a season. That's clear. I think some people don't realize it, but
yeah, I think a lot of our injuries early on the season you can count to that. I know Shohei, he was dealing with a little back thing. 14 hours on a flight, and then you have to play on the turf. It's a long time. And I think it'll be the same in Japan next year. I think there's a couple of domes that we'll be playing at. So, you're talking about 14 hours, and you got to play on the turf. That's rough on the body.
Wait till they do something where you're on a crazy trip, and then they have you go back to Sacramento for 110 on artificial turf.
Stack town.
That is going to be an absolute battle.
Thankfully for us, I don't think we make that trip next year. We go to Oakland this year, so we get one last run at the Coliseum, and then they should come to us next year.
Talk about standing ovation. Max Muncy in Sacramento, standing ovation. Oof, every at bat.
No, I don't know about that, but it'll be fun to go to the Coliseum one last time, especially since it's not gonna be there anymore. And I don't know if anyone's ever said that about the Coliseum, but when you know that you're not ever going to go back there, and for me, it's where I started my career, I think it'll be kind of a cool trip.
Yeah,
hopefully I'm able to get healthy for that one.
Hey, what are you going to steal? Everyone's stealing stuff. What are you going to take at the end?
I mean, is there anything worth stealing in the place? I don't know.
But I don't know. That's kind of what. But people are like, oh, I want this or I want that. Something small, whatever.
A Moneyball computer.
Maybe we. I don't know. Maybe we take one of the tarps off the upper deck. Who knows?
That's good.
Just take the big Ricky circle and put it in your bag.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I know. If there is one cool thing there, it's going up on top of Mount Davis. That's always something. The couple of times we've gone with the Dodgers, I've always tried to take guys up there. Because it's just a random elevator in the back by the visiting cage. Everyone's like, "Where does this go?" And I was like, "Yeah, come on, I'll take you up there. Let's go." I mean, you don't know if the thing's going to get you all the way up there or not, but it's always really cool going up there. And when you're up there, it makes you kind of wonder why in the world did they build it, because it's the scariest thing you can do.
Yeah, well, hopefully, I agree. Hopefully, you're back.
You're talking about looking straight down. Like if you've had a couple of beers and you're sitting up there and you trip, you're finding yourself out on the field.
Yeah, not in a good place. Well, Max, hopefully you're back for that. Get well soon. We'll check back in with you in a few weeks, all right?
All right, sounds good, guys. Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about a new perspective on performance apparel, and that is Viore. I don't think we're going to be able to top the way that Alana and Kenton praised the brand, a new partner that's here on FT, but we'll try our best right now because Kratz, you're wearing a little Viore action. So let's get your first response.
I don't know how else to say it. Like I don't have high-end clothing, and this is like the nicest shirt I've ever put on in my life. I came in the mail yesterday. Last night when I got back, I'm like, yes. I'm gonna try it on. How good could it be? Like it's built up. I'm like, how really good could this be? This is easily the nicest shirt that I've ever put on in my life. It is so like it feels so like just light and airy, and like I don't know how to explain it other than it's freaking awesome.
It is a fresh take on athleisure. There you go. So what I know you're putting your hands up. It's on you, dude.
AJ's in.
I mean, I don't understand.
.com/foul. What?
I mean,
AJ's wearing one too. He wants to go to you.
I mean, I don't even understand. Y'all don't even include me in these sponsorships half the time.
I want you to star in these sponsorships. I was not given the memo. I'm not sitting next to you today.
I mean, I got Viore on. I wear Viore all the time. I wore Viore before Viore was Viore. Okay? So, listen. I mean, I ordered my extra Viore yesterday, but I got a bunch of shirts, some shorts. My son rocks the shorts and the shirts. He loves them. I mean, they're good stuff.
So, FT fam, you see the code 20% off your first purchase at viore.com/foul. Everything is designed to work out in, but doesn't look or feel like it. So again, that's viore.com/foul for 20% off your first purchase. Viore is an investment in your happiness, and you can get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet. Also, in addition to the 20% off your first purchase, you can get free shipping on any U.S. orders over $75 and free returns. Again, viore.com/foul and discover the versatility of clothing.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.